Okay, hey, so I wanted to make this video more for me. I wanted to get something like off my head. This pertains to like a situation that happened, and it's just something I keep thinking about, and it happened a few months ago and I really should just forget about it, but it is something that kind of like gets my goat. And if I tell any of my friends, they'll just be like, oh bro, just don't worry about it. And it's like, oh yeah, like I know I shouldn't worry about it, but like it's just something like I can't help. I think about it all the time. So this is a story about an argument between me and someone else, and I kind of just wanted to explain it. Now the title of the video is How to Win Any Argument. And the first thing I want to say before I go into the story is if you're wrong, just admit you're wrong. If you don't know you're wrong and then find out you're wrong, admit you're wrong as soon as you know. The sooner you do it, the less of an asshole you're gonna look like. People are wrong, no one's right. It's not wrong to be wrong. Okay, so anyways, this is a story of an argument I had with a guy down in Miami. And also before I start this story, to give you some background, I'm originally from Miami. I don't live there anymore, but I'm from there. And the reason why we went down to visit is one of my best friends, he, which is also background, comes into play. He's Indian, so his religion is Hindi. I don't know much about the Hindi religion. I'm not religious myself. But he's Hindi, and he's in a fraternity with the other Indian people, and they're all very cool. Every time I meet anyone, every time I go to one of their parties, they're super nice to me. And we all go down. I don't really know anyone except my friend and his girlfriend, and everyone else we go with are people from his frat, but they're very cool to me. And then when we get down there, my friend's girlfriend had a friend waiting. So we had to go pick her up while we got closer to Miami. We brought her in, and immediately, like I saw this girl, and she had a bunch of like Louis Vuitton luggage, and she's just too young to afford it. So like maybe I'm wrong to judge, but I was judging like her parents are probably rich. And throughout the course of the weekend, I had a great weekend. It was great. She kept like offering to go to certain like places, like, oh, my parents took me here. It's only like $30 a plate, and I'm like, ugh. Like I don't want to go there. Just blowing a lot of money, and I'm not usually like super cheap, but like $30 a plate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner was getting to be a lot of fucking money. So anyways, hanging out, we got a penthouse in Brickell. It was really nice. Hanging out, everyone kind of was paired up. Like my friend had his girlfriend, and other guys who came down had like their best friends. So there was always like, you know, pairs of two. I guess that's redundant, but anyways, me and this girl got kind of paired up because we were the only outliers, and I was talking to her, and like we were drinking, so I was like challenging her to drink more. She was challenging me to drink. I told her like, I'll bet you like $5 that we're probably gonna have to carry you home, because like I just kind of like, I don't know, like I said, it's probably wrong of me to judge, but I had this like idea of what she was like. So I'm kind of just like flirting with her, but I'm kind of being mean. If you guys know what that's like the flirting with a girl being mean, I don't know, hard to explain. But like we were at the mall, and I was telling her like, oh, I'll buy that for you, I'll buy that for you. And it was making my friend laugh. So I kind of kept doing it. I was encouraged. And then she told me she had a boyfriend. And once I heard that, I like kind of pulled her aside and said, hey, like if you're uncomfortable with these jokes, like I'll stop. I don't want to like make you feel uncomfortable here, because like I said, I was kind of the only one she really had to talk to at the time. There was really no one else. And she told me this almost specifically, and like again, let me bring it back. So she's Hindi as well. I don't know anything about the Hindi religion, so like if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But this is what she told me. I said I'm like I'll stop if I'm making you uncomfortable. And she said, no, I'm into it. I'm into your tattoos. So she brought up my tattoos, and I think in the Hindi religion, tattoos are a real big no-no. So to me, I guess I look like a real bad boy with all these tattoos. And then she said her boyfriend is Muslim, and because she's Hindi, that's against the rules, and she has to break up with him anyways, is what she told me. And after she told me that, like I said, I wasn't into her, so like that left a real bad taste in my mouth after she said that to me. So I completely ignored her. Like I just would not talk to her, because it was just weird now. I'm like, I don't, like, you're not a prize I'm trying to win. And so then this is where the argument happened. So I'm not sure where she's from. but her boyfriend is from Fort Lauderdale, which is pretty close to Miami. He came to visit one night. I was passed out. It was like 4 a.m. and he came and visited for like 20 minutes and left, and I was passed out the whole time. And then the next night, this is like the same night where she told me she's into me, or she's into it, like into my flirting. He came again, and my friend told me, he's like, hey man, and we were gonna go out like to some clubs with him. My friend was like, hey man, if he causes issues, let me know and I'll kick him out. I'm like, yeah dude, I'm sure it'll be fine. I was a little nervous. I was like, oh God, like what did she say to him? Like I'm assuming like we're gonna have some confrontation. Then when he comes, he like dabs up everyone. He dabs me up, and I know he knows who I am. And it was okay at first. I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of like testing the grounds. So then we go out to these clubs in Miami. I don't want to say which club it is, but I'm sure if you're from Miami or been to Miami, you know what club I'm talking about. Okay, so when we pull up to this one club we're supposed to go to, we kind of pull up in the back street, and there's like a big warehouse that is a club, and no one's in line. There's like a bouncer out the front and no one's in line. It just looks like this big warehouse. There's no lights. You couldn't even tell it was a club. But the club we were supposed to go to was just like gorgeous. It was just all white, and you go up there and then tons of like Ferraris and Lamborghinis are pulling up, and like it looked like famous people. I don't know who they were, but they would like pull up with like hot models and just walk straight in. There was a huge line. It was just popping. And I like talked to the bouncer before we get in line. I'm like, hey, how much is it to get in? He's like, 20 bucks right now. So we get in line, and everyone's 21 except one of the people we're with, and he is 19, I believe, maybe 20. And I kind of coach him how to talk to the bouncer to get him in, because I've talked my way into clubs multiple times. And I told him, like, bro, just like talk about something unrelated and then be like, oh, maybe I'll come into this club. And I was like, but definitely don't say you don't have your ID. And he's like, oh yeah, I got it. And we let him go first. And he goes first, and the first thing he says is, so I forgot my ID. And they're like, get out of here. So we all leave and we don't get in the club. And we walk next to the one club we parked by, and they're like, we'll just go in here. And I'm like, how much is it to get in? And they're like, 40 bucks. And I'm like, 40 bucks to get into this shithole? When it's only 20 bucks to get into like the promised land over there? I'm like, fuck that. And then, so this girl's boyfriend was like, I think he just said broke boy, but like he wasn't making eye contact, and I couldn't really tell where that was coming from because I didn't see anyone looking at me. And I see him, and he's like, it's kind of like this. It was like broke, like it was, if you guys are me, he was like broke boy, and he like wouldn't look at me. I'm like, broke boy. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, why are you saying that? I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna pay 40 fucking bucks to get in this club when it's 20 bucks over there. He's like, well, we can't get into that club over there. I'm like, well, I can. I'm like, I can get in that club over there, and I don't want to pay no 40 bucks to get over here, man. And he's like, he said, you're broke white boy. And like, yes, I look white, I sound white, I'm from Miami, I'm Cuban. I don't know my father well, he is from Cuba, I don't speak Spanish, but I'm Cuban and I'm from Miami. He says, you're broke white boy, and I don't acknowledge that. And I'm like, look, dude, I got bills to pay. I'm not trying to fucking spend money on this shitty fucking club. And he's like, I got bills to pay too. And I could just tell, like, he doesn't live at the, like, no one who like pays their rent and pays their car bill and pays their insurance and pays for their phone will ever question someone. I'm 21. Will never question someone else around the same age, like you're broke. I got bills to pay too. It's like, dude, you probably pay your like phone bill for 50 bucks a month, man. Like, anyways, I had the money. It wasn't about the money. It was just, now we're getting to this argument with this guy. Like, I have the money, but like, I don't want to go to this club. And he was just like just being so mean to me. And then the whole time, his girlfriend's behind him, and he's like, she told me, you shouldn't have come to Miami if you didn't have the money. I'm like, what world do you guys live in? And then he's like, go back where you're from, white boy. I'm like, I'm from here. He's like, you're from here? He's like, what part? What part? And I told him what part. I don't know if I want to say. Yeah, I'll just say, I'm from Kendall, which isn't the coolest part. Maybe I should have said Hialeah. I was just being honest. I'm from Kendall in Miami. And it was just pissing me off. Then me and my friend who I went there for his birthday, he walked away with me, and he told me he was getting kind of stressed out and he didn't like it. And other of the frat guys came up to me and told me like they don't have the money to afford 40 bucks. They like actually don't have the money, and they want to go to the other club. And So I go back and like, look, I'm going to that club. And so the guy said, okay, so that's the plan. Well, I'll go to this club and the broke ass bitches will go to that club. I'm like, dude, why the fuck do you gotta keep saying that shit? And I'm like pissed, like it doesn't make sense, and it's just like, I don't know why it was getting to me, but like he wasn't giving me room to like defend myself. It was like arguing with a fucking brick wall, and his little girl was behind him like barking at me too. Like, you shouldn't have came to Miami if you didn't have the money. Anyways, we split up. I'm pissed, but we go into the club. The club that we want to go to is now $40 to get in, but that's fine because I wanted to go into it anyways. And it was the dopest fucking club. So dope. Club, if you know who you are, if you want to come to me for some paid promotion, I'm down, because that is a cool fucking club. And it turns out the club they went to, they all had a horrible time. It was real shitty. Karma's a bitch. Anyway, so the story really takes off. We go back to the penthouse, and he's there. So we get back, and I'm passed out, or I'm ready to pass out. It's like 6 a.m. We have to leave. We have to clean up and leave the penthouse at 9 a.m. No, so my friend goes into the room and sleeps. I'm sleeping on the pull-out couch. My friend goes into the room and sleeps. And like I said, he told me if there's any issues, let him know and he'll kick him out. Because it's not really my place to kick out someone. Because like it's really my friend's birthday, and I'm not gonna, kick him out. But anyway, so I'm like laying down and my eyes are closed. I'm not asleep though. And this guy's talking to his girlfriend, and I hear them like talking shit about me, and like as if I can't hear. And I got up and I told him, like, dude, like you're talking shit because I'm asleep and you don't think I can hear you, man. I'm like, that kind of seems like a bitch move. And he said, he's like, we weren't talking about you. Go to sleep, white boy. And I was like, dude, you're giving me so much disrespect. Like, if you have an issue with me, let's talk it out. And he's like, go back to sleep, white boy. There's no issue. And then he told me something stupid. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, every time I meet with someone, I'm mean to them, and then they tell me they fuck with me. And I'm like, he's like, you clearly just don't fuck with me. And I'm like, of course, like, how do you meet people and you're just a dick to them, and then they fuck with you? Like, that doesn't, like, what logic is that? And then he was just like, go to sleep, white boy. So what I'm trying to say with the story of how to win any argument is, I was like posing facts. Everything he was saying, I was trying to ask him to explain it, and then he was writing me off with like, go to sleep, white boy, which is getting under my skin because like I'm not white. I wasn't correcting him because like, what's the point? And the thing is, I was trying to stay away from like low blows about certain things, and I didn't want to tell him. But his girlfriend fucking told me, because I know this whole thing is because she told him that I was flirting with her. And I wanted him to say it, because she told me she has to break up with him because he's Muslim. And I know nothing about this guy. I don't even know that he's Muslim. I don't know how to tell if someone is Muslim, but I can guarantee if we got into that argument, I would win, because he would be like, he has no idea I'm Muslim. How does he know that like Muslims aren't allowed to date Hindis? She's Hindi. And why would she say she's gonna break up? I didn't really want to get into that, but that was definitely in my back pocket just in case it got there. But then it got to a point where he was leaving and he was shaking everyone's hand, and everyone's kind of like asleep. I do this, I'll tell you in a second. But he comes to shake my hand. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna shake your hand. I'm like, dude, you've been nothing but disrespectful to me all night. I'm not gonna shake your hand. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And then he's like, whoa, bro, I'm just trying to be a gentleman. Something along those lines. I'm like, listen, man, like, you clearly have an issue with me. Let's go outside alone and let's talk this out, man, like men. And then he just, like, I keep bringing up my tattoos, and my tattoos are art for me. Like, I enjoy them. I normally wear long sleeves so no one can see them. But at this point, like, I'm ready to go to bed. I'm in like shorts and a t-shirt. And he, like, I was like, dude, you clearly have an issue with me. And what he says, he's like, no, man, I'm just jealous of all your tattoos, bro. Which is just like sarcastic, and like, this makes no sense, man. Like, clear. And earlier when he met me, I was wearing long sleeves, so he didn't know I had tattoos. And I have a moth tattoo on my leg for certain reasons. And then he starts hitting the moth as if it's like gay or homosexual to have like a moth or butterfly tattoo on you, which is pretty common in traditional, like American traditional tattoos. And he just starts like, I keep like, dude, let's just talk it out. And he's like, no, bro, I'm just jealous of your tattoos. Yeah, man. And anyways, long story short, which is already a long story, is he pretty much leaves and nothing gets resolved. Like we don't find common ground. He like, and at the point when we're arguing back at the penthouse, his girlfriend's not barking at me anymore because I think she knows I'm right. Because I keep like just calmly saying, dude, like you have an issue with me, clearly. Let's just talk it out, man. And maybe also she was quiet because she didn't want me to tell him what she said. It seemed like he lost. Even to his girlfriend, it seemed like he lost the battle. And why I wanted to make this video is I think of that argument still till this day, because it was like arguing with a brick wall. Like I was posing like real like facts of sorts, and he was just like, nah. And I'm like, oh my god, man, it was just so frustrating. I know everyone's gonna be like, just don't let it bother you, don't let it bother you. And like I know it shouldn't, but it does. So I didn't use any low blows. I just supposed facts, and I was letting him like respond, but he was just responding like a child. And it's just something I think about, because I'm like, I won that argument, but I got no like validation from it. But yeah, that's the story I wanted to tell about how to win any argument. So all my friends told me like I won because of how I handled myself and how compared to how he was handling himself with all the sarcastic like backhanded compliments he was giving me about like my tattoos. But that's about it. So like don't be that guy. If you're fucking wrong, admit it. Yeah, dude, I have a problem. You're flirting with my girl. Okay, dude, let's talk this out. I'm gonna tell you why I did it. I'm not interested in your girl. I don't know your girl. It could have been easy like that. He would have been an asshole. Maybe we could have found common ground. But now it just like we both kind of look like assholes, but at least to my friends I look like least of an asshole, and I guess that's what matters most. Alright, so that's it for the video. If you guys want to follow me at French Boy Jean Claude on Instagram and maybe hit me with a little DM, I'll respond to you. At least while I'm still kind of small, I will. Yeah, that's pretty much the story. I don't know what else there is. Oh, and the whole fucking car ride home from Miami back to Tampa, super fucking awkward. Hated it. If you're wrong, fucking admit you're wrong. It saves everyone so much time. But yeah, I guess that's it. Moral of the story.